just in case. There's been quite a few things floating through the Telegram that I wanted to bring up today. I haven't gotten a chance to reply to a lot of the conversation that was happening yesterday. But one of the things I wanted to just bring through as a confirmation is that I came across the Lisa Renee, the energetic synthesis. One of her last newsletters came out. And generally, I've been a little busy to read them, but today or this time, the guides were like, you need to read this one. You need to actually listen to this one and have an understanding of it. So I am going to forward this to all of you in order for you to have an ability to read through it, because it's actually quite long. But that within this, that one of the things that was really coming through was the confirmation of the information that we've been getting about the solar Rishi, or the solar, or the triple solar energy coming through. The restoration not only of the Melchizedek, the restoration not only of the Metatron energy, but that all of these energies have a female counterpart within creation. And that as all of these triple suns are coming in, it is the Hieros Gamos, or the union of also these energies back with their divine feminine energies. So part of this energy that's coming through is also healing a huge grid line for us. And these major grid lines that are popping up for us, many of them are actually running down the European continent down. So this is going to be coming through King Arthur and Guinevere energy all the way down, and it's moving all the way down towards Greece, towards Crete, and towards all of these energetic islands where a lot of the grids kind of push through within this area. So it's all of these different divine temples. So this is also bringing a restoration towards energy within, say, the Temple of Delphi and the divine feminine priestess energy that was held down within these temples. So I'm just going to invite you to for now, just kind of allow your energy to just tap into that whole line. And you can feel that even if you went up north a little bit, that there's even an energy within there towards a race line of beings that if we wanted to kind of tap into them, we would understand them more through the vibration of a being named Anastasia. But this divine being is really, she's depicting a race line of beings that are from some of the remnants of the Lemurian times, if you will. And when humanity still operated from the high vibrations within oneself, that meant that we could feel the chi energy or the life force energy. We could feel the vortexes. We could move them through our intention. So this is back when our body was designed more in harmony with the living body of the earth. So this is also going to be associated with the divine beings that were created and seeded here even through the Isis or pre-Isis lineage lines. And these would have been the beings that would have been the gardeners or the caretakers, what we would maybe later even think of as the Liliths of the planet. And these divine feminine beings had the ability to move energy, to create basic realities in gardens. We would think of these as the gardens of Eden that were all over the planetary body. But these moved down some of the primary places that they're focusing on us on right now, because even though they go through the not only the Mesoamericas and the Mayas and so on, they're focusing us on this vibrational line that really comes down almost from Russia all the way down through the Northern European, all the way down into the Greece area. And the reason for this is because it's connected to the Stargate in Lyra of Avion. This is the 11th Stargate, Avion. And as we begin to sense this, what is coming back online is the Hieros Gamos of this King Arthur and the Guinevere lineage line. Now, we would think of these many times as just, wasn't that a fairy tale? Wasn't that a myth? Wasn't that just something here on Earth? These were actual guardian beings that are connected to the Earth. That is why when you start to travel through Europe or look at a lot of the names, especially through Ireland, Scotland, England, and you start to see a lot of the tie-ins to the names of places are going to have connection to these. And I just don't have these names in the top of my head right now, but I just wanted to give you guys the opportunity, if you feel called to look at any of this, that what you're looking at is the actual physical places on Earth with the distortions of Lyra are being holographically played out here on Earth. But the beautiful thing is what her whole thing was talking about is that in this time, the divine feminine dragons are reinstating all of these Christic lines right now. And so as this cosmic spirit body is coming back online, these triple powers in all of these solar places are reactivating again. And so what is happening is, we talk about it here on Earth as the solar cycles or new activity where the sun is being more active and we're feeling it on the Earth. But the invitation for us is to actually not just see this as a sun doing some extra luminary dancing in the sky. So I want us to take a little bit of honor for our solar logos today that is shining over our solar system, our home sector here. And I want you to imagine that our sun, first of all, its true home is in the Pleiades. It is meant to be part of one of the seven sisters. It is a missing sun from the Pleiadian star system. So I want you to imagine that all of these suns, that at some point in time, these are solar rishis that birthed from the galactic center. And so they hold high levels of consciousness. These are like solar dragons. And imagine these solar dragons as they emanate through the cosmos. Imagine if they were all together in an area, how they could amplify and support each other's energy. But now I want you to imagine our solar dragon way out here, all alone. Even imagining that our solar logos, even though it's supposed to be part of the Pleiadian energy, it's also in a binary star pattern with the Sirius star system. So it also has an energy where it's meant to be in harmony with the Sirius star system. And you can imagine the Sirius star nation has 3 suns. There's Sirius A, B, and then C. And as we can imagine these 3 suns, they are also supporting each other. So imagine when we think about Sirius, the higher levels of consciousness that can be held within there. Now, even for a perspective of these solar dragons, begin to have an awareness of the size difference of our sun in this solar system. If it was placed next to Sirius A, it would look like a little dot next to it. It is much smaller in its mass, in its size. So now for a moment, I want you to imagine this energy of our solar logos and all of the energy, all of the work that it's been doing to even keep this solar system alive. That a lot of times we feel ourselves, we feel what we've gone through, we feel what the divine feminine has gone through. We're also going to start to really acknowledge the divine masculine that has been holding energy. And as we begin to sense our solar logos, imagine that what is happening is these solar beings These solar dragons are beginning to come through, and how they reach each other is when the stargates begin to line up. So the suns begin to line up, and therefore the direct radiation from one sun begins to help support and amplify the next sun. So I'm kind of painting an image, but this is also actually happening. And so now, as we begin to sense the amplified frequencies that are coming from the earth, I'm going to invite you to just tap in for a moment with some breaths to feel those new radiations coming from the sun. The solar flares, the solar energy is the reuniting, the reunification, the amplification, the returning home of the cosmic mother and the solar dragons. And as this energy is coming through, many of us have incarnated cycle after cycle after cycle through these sacred dragon lineage lines. And part of our reason for incarnating in was to maintain a level of receptivity for this vibration, for these blueprints in the earth grid. So that is why there is a huge influx of energy when we feel our connection to the energy of the Cathara, which is the Crystalla, which is the Christos, but is also the Cathar, and the Cathars, and the Cathar energy, which was related to the Templars. And so as we begin to sense this energy that is also tied in all down that ley line through the European lines, all the way down that mass of land. So again, as you can almost kind of sense it, this is also going to really tie in a really big way France, the energy of France. I didn't mention that earlier. But what this is bringing through is that our divine bodies, many times again, coming in female bodies into these lineage lines, many incarnations in there, we held vibrations and energies in these temples, on these ley lines, through connections to the Cathars, through connections to the Magdalene or the Magdalene lineage lines, through connections to all the way up into the Celtic and all the way up these Rosicrucian energies. I'm going to talk about Templar and Rosicrucian. These are distorted energies currently of what was originally vibrational energies that were celebrating and honoring the rose. So Rosicrucian is a bastardization of the divine feminine energy that represented the rose lineage, which is the bloodline of these beautiful Cathar lineages that go all the way back through and through the dragon and through the serpent lineage lines. The rose represented the way that the energy moved, and it also represented the sacred blood. The Templars are Syrian. They come from the original Blue Lodge within the Syrian councils, and the Templars were the template, the Blue Lodge, or the Cathara, or the Tree of Life template holders for the energy centers upon the earth to match the galactic centers, to match the universal centers, to match the entire body of the cosmic mother. So there are Templar keepers in many different planetary systems, but the Templars were those that came to preserve and honor and hold the stargates and the dragon lines. They were infiltrated because of the wisdom that they held. And so therefore, after the Crusade times, and they actually started to get bastardized even all the way as far back as Templars were even part of the society, even back as far as Akhenaten times. So, but it was through the Crusade times that these were the true Templar wars that started to now overtake into a masculine energy. Now, as we get to sense this energy, begin to have an awareness within your own self, any places that you've been called to within any of these lineage lines, because what's happening right now is these new solar codes are coming in. They want us to have an awareness that many of us are feeling a bit of an overwhelm right now. Like, oh my gosh, is this still going? Is it like, I thought this was over. And it's getting a little bit more intense. And the reason why it's getting more intense is because a lot of the places where the miasma of these reversal energies, so the parasitic energies or the hijacked energies was taking over these stargates, they are being burned off. They're being cleared out of here. And as these start to come back into rehabilitation, there is a lot of there's a lot of energy that begins to get released out of there. And the best way that I can describe it is it's almost like it's viral energy. It's almost like it's a dis-ease energy that comes out. And as it purges out, many of our bodies are the ones that are clearing it. We are the transmutation of that energy off the planetary plane. It can't just release out of the earth grid and then go into the air. There's something to how our bodies, and this is not everybody has this mission, but most that hold this dragon lineage line, our bodies are being used to process a lot of these viruses, a lot of these miasmas, bacterias, and how our body begins to respond to this is we start to feel more tired. Just having a conversation about this, and even the conversation where I'm sitting here going like, oh my gosh, there are days I get up and I feel like my body feels old. It feels sore. It feels as though it is not feeling youthful and vital. It's kind of going like, oh my gosh, my joints feels almost as though they're locking up. And it's because it's our fluids in our body that end up getting attacked more by this energy. So for a lot of people, this even starts to exacerbate autoimmune, where the body kind of starts to shift on itself. So autoimmune energy, any ways in which we are purging fluids through the body. This could be digestive, this could be sensitivities to food, this could be sinuses, this could be any of these kind of ways, but primarily what our body feels many times when influxes, new packets of trapped miasma gets released out of these areas. So just to give you another visual of what this trapped energy is, the Crusades, the wars, every single war basically that's happened on this planet has been a level of sacrifice, bloodshed upon the earth. Within that, there is reversal energies that have allowed a lot of those souls or the binding of that blood to then get pulled into the earth and used by the lower astral realms. So a lot of this purging and the correcting of the spin of the vortexes on the earth, what's happening is a lot of the trapped spirits that were on the earth. Think of the trapped pain, sorrow, anger, sadness, all of these trapped human experiences from those tragedies that have been locked and trapped in the earth. So this will be easy for a lot of you that have sensitivity to land, or you can feel where maybe a battle was, or you're maybe sensitive to spirits or beings that are still within homes, but not in the physical form. Same thing, but what's happening is it's trapped memories, cellular memories and coding that has been like a sticky ick in the earth. And as these things are opening, unlocking, and the spin is correcting, the new light is coming through, we're assisting this to move off the planetary sphere. We are purging and detoxing a lot of this in many ways through us, through our karmic ties, through the cells in our body. Whether or not It's the first time or the millionth time that your soul is incarnated here. The cells in our body are recycled material of the body of Earth. Our body is Earth. So not only is it going to hold a lot of all of the history of Earth that's happened, regardless if our soul feels as though we've incarnated there or not. This is why a lot of times you can have past life experiences, go do past life regression and be like, where did that memory come from? A lot of times you're just tapping into memories that might not have been your actual soul memory, but is maybe connected more to your oversoul memory just through the cells and what the cells have been holding within them. So now as this energy moves, this is just an encouragement for all of us that as she goes into this energy, she also brings through this great reunification within here of how the Syrian crystal temples are being reinstated across all, not only through the etheric realms and their embodiments through their connection to the earth, but many of the ones that had to be corrected within the Sirius star nation, and also to understand Eridanus, Alpha Centauri, and Andromeda, specifically Andromeda, modeled their temples, their blue ray temples after the Syrian temples. So Syrian temples are not just in the Sirius star system, they are throughout. And what is happening is these crystalline Syrian temples are coming back online. And as they come back online in a bigger way through our access through these solar codes, what we are having access to is more and more access to be within these temples as we're purging this energy. So they show a lot, how they've been showing me is to go into that expression of dropping in, kind of like when we do the 12th dimensional shield and we drop into that 12th dimension plasma field in the core of or the heart of the earth, like an ocean. Begin to also imagine that ocean could also be the water within one of these Syrian temples, that as you lay within it, that many of your guides or the healers or the caretakers of these temples will come and nurture you, love you, help you manage the autoimmune responses in your body, the nervous system energy in your body, all that your body is purging. It really helps mainly down to the marrow in your bones so that the crystalline energy in there can continually replicate at these higher crystalline levels within your body.